Peace, peace, peace to the nation of gods and earths, peace to the almighty nation of 5%. Shalom, Ashe, 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 Hotep, Gates and Guten Tag. Peace, salute. I'd like to say a universal greeting of peace and balance and understanding to all my family, my Aelites. And I appreciate everybody who listens in. Of course, it's daily instruction. And before I even get into it, I want you to see exactly where I am. All right? I don't know if you can see over my shoulder, but that's the area where young people were shot. 3 are fighting for their lives. 1 is in stable condition. This area here on Buffalo Avenue. Again, another, tragic situation in our community. But I want you to make note of the building, the area I am. Again, the police is still an active scene, so I don't want to get too close. But that building right there, all right, and I'll get back to the significance of that building later and why I'm out here. But you can see it's still an active scene, crime scene. They got the detectives out here. Still crazy. That building right there, 611 Sterling. Now, I'll get back to that, right? But as you can see, we're smacking in the hood, in the predominantly black community. But before I get into all that, I want to explain to you today exactly how the system of oppression and the systematic capitalist environment elevates our youth to this crime of killing each other, shooting each other. And before I even get any further of that, I want you to see, right, that these credentials, I only keep them, to let people know that I know exactly what I'm talking about. See that? Right? This lets you know I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, this area here where the shooting took place, right, is smack around the corner from a cure violence site. But as you can see, you don't see no paraphernalia letting you know that this is a cure violence monitored area. Again, Cure Violence is a program that gets funded, used to be funded by the state. Now it's funded by the mayor's office, Mark J., right? Other city agencies, taxpayer money, right? But it should be, once again, plastered plastered all around so that you know that this is an area that is supposedly monitored by people of color who want to make a difference in the lives of the youth by preventing unnecessary gunfire, unnecessary people be hit by gunfire, unnecessary casualties, unnecessary loss of life. But you don't see none of their paraphernalia out here. No posters, no palm cards, no type of anything letting you know that Cure Violence is in this area to help and assist those who are in that lifestyle, right? Black people now, mind you, okay? Or black thinking people. Again, as I always say, I don't want you to get caught up into believing in the skin color. Because again, wait till this truck pass, that black and white are mentalities, all right? Again, I'm glad I left from down there because I've just seen that the D's are coming out and really looking at the shell casings. Soon they're going to start asking people. If you could look down there, you can see that they're extra active. But anyway, I'm here because I work in the area. I'm also here because down the block my daughter went to the junior high school. So for the last 3-4 years, I've been in this area every single day, right? So not only was I dropping and picking my daughter up every day, twice a day, right, in this area, as of last year, I also worked down the block, on this very block, right? So I actually walked here, right? This is Sterling. I work on Sterling, right? Down the block. So I know the area well. I know what oppression and the oppressive system has done to this area. Just the other day, I seen a brother smoking a crack pipe, smoking crack in 2019. Yeah, it blew my mind. That, first of all, who's still selling crack? But he stopped in between the building, broad daylight, pull out a pipe, start smoking near the bodega. So I was thrown by that. Well, anyway, the area is in a very, very bad state. That building, though, 611, has realtors, right? And I've dealt with several realtors for this entire area here. Not only that building, but throughout Sterling, throughout this whole area of Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, Crown Heights, up the hill, whatever, we calling it. And they're charging people $2,800 for 2 and 3 bedrooms in that very same building, which is smack in the middle of street life, gang life, the street hustle, violence, as you can see. Right there, they think you're stupid and want you to rent out of it, right? The news media also been here all day since this shit happened. And the news media is only there for what? To showcase how people can't get it right, how they don't live together, how they view each other as criminals and enemies. Again, I'll get back to all that. But let me tell you about my morning. This morning, I went to fight a ticket that I acquired about 17, 18 months ago, where an officer said I ran red light in East New York. Now, as I showed you, I worked for Cure Violence at that time. There was a shooting in the area. I'm born and raised in East New York, lived there my entire life, so I know how it is when gunfire is in the area. I know what 75th Precinct is all about. So I'm coming up to a light, getting ready to make a turn onto a major street. Light is yellow. I slow down, make my turn. The police vehicle, I see it, it's right on the corner. It's not hidden. So I make my turn and proceed. They flag me over and give me a ticket, said I ran a red light. Okay, looked at the officer like he was crazy, but took the ticket, kept it moving. So now, fast forward to this morning, I appear in court. I'm going there. I'm early, as usual. I see the judge, black man. I can tell by his demeanor he doesn't want to be there as soon as he walks in. Traffic court, no robe or nothing, but I look. I know he's younger than me, even though he may look at me and don't believe so, but I can see it. Probably in his late 30s, early 40s, black man, black in skin tone. So they call us up, first one. I'm the first one they call up. Officers there, little Caucasian man. You know him? He didn't even recognize me, as I'm sure most of them don't, right? To him, it's nothing. It's the system, right? Working. So he goes on about all his writing of the ticket, the technical aspects of it, using the systematic technical language. Instead of saying it's yellow, he said the light was amber. And when it turned red, that's when I passed and took liberties making the turn. So he flagged me over and yada, yada, yada. All this foolishness. Judge told me to explain it, and I explained it. I worked for Cure Violence, actually going to respond to a shooting that had just happened. So, as a lifelong East New York resident, I would not run a red light in front of police. That's insane, right? I knew I didn't have a shot because that man didn't see me as a black man. He didn't see me as his brethren. He saw me as somebody across the table being brought in by somebody who represents the system to the fullest. So of course he said, well, you're guilty. Do your thing. Again, a black man, not giving a black man the benefit of the doubt, didn't even hear me, asked did I have any witnesses and all this yakadaka. Boom, in and out. Guilty, go pay. Right? Again, it's not color, it is a mind state. People who represent the system to the fullest. And he represented that system, and he made sure that financially I would be in some dire straits feeding into the system. Didn't care what I looked like, didn't care how I articulated myself, did not give a damn. This white man, representative of the system, brought me in there. I was in there. I was across that desk from this black man. Again, know your enemy. Know your enemy. That is quick. It has to be that quick in order for us to understand and perceive where we're going. Right? Know your enemy. And who's your enemy? Anybody that works for the system. Anybody that works to maintain and uphold the system. That's your enemy. So now getting back to what I just walked from. People shot, maimed, hurt, fighting for their lives because black people see other black people as enemies, as combatants, as somebody they need to shoot down and kill, even though they are in the exact same space, the exact same condition, right? Not someone who works for the actual system that's oppressing them, right? No, they see each other as enemies because that is what they conceptualize. That's what they condition, and how we are all conditioned to see each other as enemies. So now, as we had this long weekend of mass shootings, racially implicated mass shootings going on across the country, and we have suffered again a week or two prior to that, the shooting in Brownsville on Brownsville Day, which was insane and just dumb, because Brownsville Day was always a day that we wouldn't even argue with each other because the elders was out there. That was one day in Brownsville that was always peaceful because so many elders were out there. Now, these kids find it amongst themselves okay to disrespect everything. Disrespect the elders, disrespect where they live, and to kill each other, right? Again, how you see each other, the thoughts that enter one's mind, the purpose with which people rise up out of bed with, okay? Now with that, shooting down the block, and I'm still walking, as you see, I'm still on Sterling, 14 minutes, and I'm dragging, going slow because I know they're doing construction on the block, because again, the white capitalist system is building up everything around these areas while leaving the people, the residents, in total despair, living in the most inhuman conditions you can think of, and believing themselves deserving of this, right? This is what we have to organize and work and put in extensive strategy to get around. Now, these cure violence sites are being paid, right, by not only by the system, so they kind of organize around what the system allows them to do. When it first was working, well, it was first introduced, it was working. So of course the system who pays it, who makes sure the salaries go out, had to tweak it because too many lives were being saved. Too many lives were being saved. It was very effective. When you came into the area, you seen all the paraphernalia running all around it, on the walls, on the bus stops, on the businesses, on the schools. You found them everywhere. You knew that you were walking into a site or into an area where people loved each other, where people were giving care to the youth that were pulling out these guns. You don't see that anymore. Why? Because those pulling the purse strings couldn't have it said that they were doing a great job, that black men were actually, and women, were actually cleaning up their neighborhood, actually giving a damn about the conditions that they were living in. So it had to be tweaked. Who tweaked it? Politicians, of course, who allowed the tweaking of it. The creators of the program, those who they allowed to come in and come amongst the workers and the administrators of the program. Right? That is what happens whenever you don't know who your enemy is. Have to know who your enemy is. Have to know how to combat it. You know? You got to make sure, always have to let the people know exactly what's going on. All right? So, as you can see, I got back to work. All right? You know? Indeed. All right? As you can see, I'm back over to where I am on a daily basis, right down the block from it. So I know what's going on in the area. Again, people smoking crack, youth involved in gang activities, right? Other groups buying property and increasing the rents in the area, right? Keeping the people in despair and financial hardships and spiritual hardships, right? This is what's going on in the area. So when you see it and you try to put your finger on it, or you're trying to put your mind into what's actually going on, it's very simple when you are truly, truly woke. Again, it threw me off my train of thought, but it was about the program, right? The program was working. It was working. We saved many lives. Then the bullshit started coming in. They started pulling people out of the community. If you want the bag, you got to listen to the people who are actually writing the checks. So you pulling those people who are very committed to the work, pulling them up out of the community, pulling them away from the youth who you are learning from and who you are teaching, who you are physically and spiritually and mentally showing that you love and care about them, to keep them from killing each other. Again, they pull you out of the community because they are the ones giving you the bag. They are the ones who are signing off on the checks. So now those who are committed to actually doing the work see it. You are woke. You understand what's going on. So either you're going to be part of the bullshit or you're going to pull yourself away. I chose to pull myself away, but continue to do the work. Continue to educate, continue to be educated, and continue to work to resolve the issue. Again, black men in the system, paid by the system, is allowing the bullshit to continue. Because either they're not woke, as they claim to be, or they choose to compromise their integrity in order to maintain some selfish pieces that keeps them away just a little bit from the actual madness that's going on, though they claiming to do the work. Now I keep getting banned from Facebook because I'm checking a few hearts. I'm checking a few mentalities. I'm letting it be known to the people what's actually going on. So I get banned. So I make sure I'm using proper language. I'm making sure that my tone is in a place to where Facebook itself can't do it. So that means somebody has to be reporting me. But when we having gunfire in these communities, kids killing each other, seeing themselves as the enemy, right? It's coming down. This is not something that just happened. There's a scientific process to this. Who is there to tell the kids something different? Who is there to give them the mentality, right, to see themselves as worthy of living, to see each other as worthy beings to allow each other to live? Who's doing that work? You think the politicians are doing it? You think those who are still working for these programs are doing it? You think it's other groups are doing it? Do you really? Do you really still actually believe that it's going to come from anybody other than yourself? Other than somebody woke? Truly woke? Do you really think that there's going to be a city council person? That there's going to be a borough president? That there's going to be a quote-unquote activist that's getting paid by the system? Do you really believe that those are the individuals that's going to stop this madness, or at least put forth an effort? These people are all in cahoots together. So I don't care if you want to call them a Democrat, if you want to call them a Republican, if you want to call them a top rap star, if you want to call them an athlete, if you want to call them a scientist, if you want to call them a developer. These people in bed together, they don't see you as their brethren. They don't see you as their alike. The judge didn't see me as his brother. They work for the system. They get paid by the system, so they're going to make sure the system continues because they have a vested interest in it continuing. So when these kids are killing each other, when these kids are terrorizing the elders, when these kids are terrorizing the babies and making these environments war zones, who do you actually believe is going to take up the mantle, is going to put the energy and the effort to get it to stop? Now, y'all could keep donating to these people that's on site, on these websites talking about gang life. You could keep donating to people who are trying to sell you a fucking candle. You could keep sitting around overseas in motherfucking bikinis or in your shorts and flip-flops and your tank tops, drinking and partying and twerking like everything around you is okay. But I want you to ask yourself, when will one of them babies cause you some heartache by gunning down you or one of your family members or somebody you care about because they don't see themselves as your brethren? Keep donating to these people, while the ones who's actually doing the work, who's actually out here providing the work and providing a different vision, a different energy, is getting nothing. I don't get paid for this shit. Again, my Cash App stays empty. I don't ask for donations when it comes to this shit. I do the work. I'm out here every day doing the work, talking to them, giving them a different visual of what a black man is, and what a black woman is, and what a black nation is. But y'all keep thinking that these people coming to save you. You keep believing that you have the luxury to allow this shit to continue. Now they all the way downtown somewhere having press conferences and getting ready to make you believe that the gun laws are the issue. I ain't going down there. Don't have to. I already know what the truth is. So if you want the truth, you'll rock with me. If you want to continue to believe in the bullshit, so be it. It's in my blood. It's in my soul. I'm connected with my universal energy. I see myself as an intergalactic being. I see myself as God with my air lights. So I'm going to do the work regardless. But I'm going to be on another platform and I'm going to actually call them out. Keep believing in these fake rap dudes. You keep believing in these athletes. Keep believing in these fake politicians and these fake ass activists. You keep believing in that shit and you're going to have another mass shooting. You're going to have more heartache. Your mind going to continue to be in turmoil. Again, I love my people. Salute.